Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Raw Cloud. In the previous video, I talked about China. I had a good look at China, some operations that had happened there. So if you haven't had the chance to watch it, check it out. Now, this video will be about one of my past life that I viewed. Now, I was with a group of um, what we would consider extraterrestrials. I was an ET myself. Definitely wasn't human, and I was on a planet, a desert-like planet. And what we were doing there, we was pretty much scavenging, looking for things that we can collect and barter with. There isn't a money system um, out there in the solar system from different planets. What they do is they can use minerals to barter with. They can use scrap from other crash spaceships. Anything that we could see a value, that's what we were looking for on this planet. Now, I was what I looked like wasn't very attractive to the human eye. Um, I was this big-headed, um, um, maybe about 5 feet tall, big head, mouth kind of, um, was kind of, shifted to the side. Um, it was pretty much not an attractive being. So, but very quite interesting to see this past life. And so, me and these other guys, I wouldn't consider them being friends. Just somebody. What I sensed were I was just with this group. We just happened to be um, a group of nobodies, really. We wasn't a part of any association. We wasn't affiliated with any type of fleet. We had our own spaceship, of course, but we were there just on this planet. Um, looking for stuff that we can see of a value that we may be able to trade with. So there was another group that showed up on this planet. I don't think it was Mars. It was Mars-like, but I really don't think it was Mars. It was another desert-like planet that really didn't have a lot of things going for it. So this group that showed up, we knew instinct that when other groups showed up, it probably was not going to turn out okay. There was many groups just like us, just looking for scrap, looking for things to that they could collect, and if they could take the stuff that we already collected, they would. Um, Out there in space, it's just like here, sometimes worse than planet Earth. Um, they will rob you and kill you for your goods. That's without a doubt. Um, so we begin to hide. There was other guys that could camouflage pretty good. Um, Now we're extraterrestrials, so we come with many types of abilities, natural abilities. There was one guy, he was way taller than me, and he had the ability to camouflage himself. Me, I was, kind of, short, and because of how the sand was, I was almost like the same color as the land. So what I did, I um, I laid down near a a some built up sand. It was like it was built up, and it kind of shifted over. So I laid across this sand and kind of covered myself with it, and so I hid myself pretty good. And this group that came, I think it was maybe like four of them, and I think it was like four of us too. But I think they had the upper hand on us, and we just wasn't trying to get in a scuffle with these other guys. Um, so we hid, and they came, and I guess with the technology that they had, they couldn't see us, but they can, home in on our life force. And I think they discovered those other guys that I was with. Now, like I said, I didn't gather that we was close friends. We was just nobodies that came together to form some type of crew. The more the merrier, out there in space. So they was trying. The group that came, um, there was this little big-headed type of. It looked just pretty much like a damn head on this. It had wheels, and it was rolling around trying to find my location. I guess it was picking up on my life force, and these my other group, they was already captured. They was captured, and they was being held at. They had a laser gun. They don't have the weapons that we have here on Earth. So they had those guys, kind of off, and I'm still laying across the sand bed type thing, and I'm just quiet. So this big giant head rolling around on this contraption um, came up to the location that I was at. Now he couldn't see me, and I'm kind of over him, looking, and I'm to the side, and my mouth just because of how it's formed as a extraterrestrial, it was like I couldn't really close my mouth, and so he's there, and I'm looking over him, and saliva come out of my saliva come out of my mouth, and it drips on top of his head, and he kind of looks up, and I touched I touched him, and I didn't know I had this ability, but I had the ability to change his mood. So after I touched him, this guy just blissed out like he was in heaven, and he started, rolling around in that little contraption that he was on, and I thought it was funny to see him like that. I mean, his whole mood changed, and as this other guy was holding my partners, he looked back and saw him blissed out. Then he saw where I was at, and I quickly ran over to him and I touched him. I touched his face, and then he began to bliss out. So I thought that was, a past life with some nice abilities I wanted to share with you guys. And then I kind of shifted to another past life. This one was pretty much real quick, and I saw myself this huge fucking head, man. I had a huge head, and maybe I was a giant, but it was a helmet that I had on. I think I was on a craft, and I was probably flying and ended up crashing, and maybe that was me before I joined up with those guys. But the mask, man, it was huge. Think of Darth Vader from Star Wars mask, but think of it as three times that size. That's how big my head was in that mask. Mask, helmet, whatever you want to call it. But I had a huge fucking head, man. Um, so I thought that was a funny past life. I wanted to share with you guys that I saw. Now, let's move on to something else. Now, this craft that's in our solar system that we're getting reports on from the Pentagon, and I want to thank one of my subscribers for, informing me of this. I looked into it. Um, this craft, it has many councils on this craft. These are not the bad guys. The bad guys are the ones that I was telling you about, the mantis beings in a previous video. Um, uh, Riding in this rift. Um, these are not the mantis beings. These are another council members, and they are going to make sure that humanity gets a fair shake. For the longest time, the bad guys had already been here. They started this caste system, um, like Orion. Think of the Orion constellation, where you have the Dracos, you have the Tall Grays, you also have the Nordics, and these are some bad groups. And they look at a caste system. As a matter of fact, we got this caste system from them. Where you have upper class, you have middle class, and then you have poor. So that's their shit. That's their caste system that we incorporated into our human lives over time. They built this system that we helped create for them. So, and this is how the Orions live. This is how the Draco Star caste live. They live in a caste system. And if you are at the bottom, they don't treat you as anything. You are nothing to them. So, and this is how we treat our society. We got this from them. And these guys that's here now that the Pentagon is are talking about, they're here to put an end to this shit. They're here to stop it because we incarnate as a multitude of different races of ETs that come down here and wake up at a certain time to help the ones that are here now to put an end to this caste system, because we know that this stuff has been going on for far too long, and in our hearts and our being we feel and know that it's not right. um, for the longest time, the reptilians have been making human hybrids that they can walk among the human population and infiltrate certain organizations to make sure that their timeline, their agendas be played out for humanity. Same thing with the Orion Greys. The Orion Greys have been having a what we call a hybrid program. Most of these hybrids didn't turn out so well. Souls just would not incarnate within them. They had too much AI within their organic body, and 9 times out of 10, a soul will not incarnate into something like that. Um, so, if you guys will look at David Jacob, the hybrid program, you would get an understanding of what's been going on. He's no longer doing interviews or talking about this stuff anymore, but you can find a lot of his old interviews how we would be abducted. I'm talking about the human population, and there's been millions that have been abducted by the Greys, and the females will be impregnated. Our human females will be impregnated with human gray genetics, embryo, and uh, 3 to 5 weeks, this embryo would be removed. And so was the reptilians too. Now the reptilians are more sexual compatible to the human race, so they would actually, um, you know, rape a female. Same thing with the female reptilians as well. They would do the same thing to a male, for the sperm. Uh, Most of these beings now would not be able to live amongst the human race. They just could not pass. You would know instantly that something was not right about these particular human beings if you encountered them on Earth. But the ones that could pass, they would take upon jobs. They will learn how to drive. Um, they will learn how to count money, how to go into a store and buy things, um, have apartments, and the government will know all about them. They will know everything about them, and will help them because when I mean infiltration, I mean infiltration. So, and they call them the Esunanis. Now, some of these Esunanis, the hybrids, um, didn't like what was going on, so they broke free from the tall grays, um, and they formed an alliance to help humanity. Um, so the grays had many operations going on. It wasn't just human hybrids. They was creating all types of beings. They was clashing um, all types of animals with humans. Uh, Now they are master geneticists. Excuse me. They are master at genetics. So are the the reptilians. They are master genetics, and that was how Atlantis got infiltrated. They would come in and take a few of Atlantis people, uh, and years later, you know, they would create clones and infiltrate Atlantis because they can genetically modify uh, their genome to infiltrate and look just like the Atlantis. So, and they went into Atlantis and they divided and conquered. The same shit that's going on here, dividing, um, having families fight one another, having neighbors, and um, having governments. And another thing about the government, for a long time, the Democrats and the Republicans were controlled by the same entity. They were just two hands. One um, played good cop, the other one played bad cop. To have you guys fight it amongst yourselves, it was never united. So, so the group that's here now, the council that is here now, is here to make sure that humans take responsibility for the stupidity that they help create for these negative groups. We have created a prison system for them, for the bad guys. And I'm talking about the same societies that's been over the music industry. I'm talking about the same societies that been over Hollywood, the same dark ones that been behind Disney, uh, these same perverts that have been harming children, um, and have the ability to look like humans, and they started having humans do the same thing too. Now, these bad people, once they die, they get incarnated into this cycle, and they grow up with this psychopath type mentality, um, narcissist. So you guys watch out for the narcissist. You watch out for the psychopath. A lot of them are the same souls that have been in these negative groups of extraterrestrials. Um, so the Pentagon is not fully coming out about the nature of this mothership. Now, in the previous video, I talked about how the mantis beings um, showed up while I was in the astral realm, and they was popping in and out of what we call the rift, and just riding that interdimensional rift wave. So this mothership had to be here, because if the mantis beings show up, they're coming in to hit, and they're coming in to hit hard, and they want to wipe out a large population, and they're not going to allow this stuff to happen. So if the mantis beings show up, it's going to be a war. And we are gonna be in the middle of this war. Now, I don't want you guys to be afraid of what's gonna go on. Hopefully, these councils have precautions and protocols that they can go by to keep as much humans safe. What I want you guys to understand is that you need to be calm, and you need to keep your head on tight. Um, do not move in fear. You are way more than what you've been led to believe. Way more. Some of you may end up having to meet a lot of these positive groups, and the negative groups will try to stop this from happening, because for the longest time, humanity, the whole history has just been one big damn lie. It's been a lie. And the Pope is not human. He's been reptilian. He's been conspiring with the reptilians. And as long as he was around, he's been rewriting history. They've been doing this for a very long time. And it doesn't take much to um, rewrite a history and have humanity believe it. Because like I said, they live way longer than what we do. Um, so I'm gonna end it right here, guys. But I want to leave on a positive note. No matter what happens, know that you are a infinite being, a spiritual being that came here because you was called to do something positive. It doesn't matter that they try to create these prison systems. You guys have been breaking every prison system that they have been trying to keep you under. You guys have gone through a very um, strong spiritual awakening. All you have to do is keep your heart open. Keep your heart open. Love each other unconditionally. And know that you do have free will. You come from the prime creator. You are God. God is not separate from you. Despite what the Bible may have told you, you way much more than a simple book. Way much more than a simple book. Christ came down and was born on earth so that he can teach you guys who you are and where you come from, and all the abilities that he came in with. You too have this power. It's never left you. Just know this. You are loved. Guys, check out Albert Wyman channel. Past life regression. Albert Wyman channel. That way you can see what they really don't want you to know about. You must look at your past in order to know your future. Love, honor, and respect each other. The next video will be kept a secret for security reasons. I'll be talking about some more military and some more council missions. So stay tuned. I love, honor, and respect all of you. Have a good day.